Hey everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me for another Mystery Mystic Monday reading. We are exploring the case of Mercedes Mariana Vega, a beautiful 22-year-old young woman whose life was taken on April 17, 2023, out of Tempe, Arizona. Mercedes was headed out for a fun night with friends at Dave & Buster's on the night of April 16th, around 9:15 p.m. She was last seen entering her apartment's parking garage on surveillance video. From there, though, all hell broke loose. According to her loved ones, she was struck on the head, forced into a vehicle, shot in the arm, and abducted from her residence's parking garage. She was set afire while still alive. The next day, April 17th, she was found on fire when she was discovered in the backseat of a burning vehicle on the side of Interstate 10 near the Salome Road exit. Her own vehicle, a white Dodge Charger, was found illegally parked in the Culinary Dropout restaurant parking lot in Tempe, Arizona. Her time of death was determined to be 1:17 a.m. on April 17th. Her cause of death was smoke inhalation from the car's fire. The horrifying discovery during her autopsy was she was forced to drink bleach prior to her death. And this has led her family to believe that she was tortured leading up to her death. Mercedes was full of life. You can tell that by the outpouring of support from her loved ones on the Instagram page that they devote to honoring her legacy, honoring her life. She worked as a part-time exotic dancer and she aspired to be a fitness trainer. She was loved and cherished by her family and friends, and she deserves justice. Who did this to her and why? That's what we're exploring in today's reading. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and get started. So I have already shuffled the cards. These are the ones that jumped. Don't worry, for the remaining part of the reading, I will be using my jumping cards. However, I had an audio issue, had to scrap that first part of the reading where I was shuffling the cards and these were what jumped out. So that's why they're already on the table. But I believe that happened for a reason because we've got a lot to get through here. And it's really good for me to now look at the cards and sit with them a little bit further and see more information coming through. Right off the bat with the dragon and the pitchfork cards, and let me just zoom in a little bit more. She put up a valiant effort, a fight. She really did. She did come to. There was a conflict that ensued. There was an uprising of sorts with her raising up against this person or persons who are responsible for this. And so that it makes me sad in a way because she knew what was going on. She knew even perhaps why. And she put up a fight, though. That does feel good. Like she did get a chance to fight once she came to in the vehicle. Okay. So that's sitting over the pitchfork card. And this card is associated with like conflict, violent uprising. So I just feel like that's what's telling me that this magnificent power that she had was up against them. And so, yeah. This is also kind of speaking about the perp and the perp's help and assistance. They wanted to apply pressure and torture her in a way with this pitchfork card. They also wanted to demonstrate to the world what was done to her. I'm saying that because when I see pitchfork, I think of demonstration, right? And then the comet, a demonstration, what? To the world or to a swath of people who that will know what, like, whoa, she died in this manner. She died in this way. They wanted to demonstrate this. This frog, this I feel like represents the energy of the the main person. He's not, or she's not. We'll get more cards to see what we're dealing with here, but not who they say they are, or it's like you think they're one way, but they're really another. You know how when the princess kisses the toad and the toad transforms into a prince, or sometimes vice versa, a prince transforms into a toad, and it's disappointing. It's a disappointment. It's a letdown. This person is a letdown. And what I mean by a letdown, it's like maybe a letdown to their family growing up, or just really at the core of them, there's something that's just kind of ick-like. I don't know if it's some addictions that they've dealt with for a time, or if there's something about them. Wish and shovel. Wish was like telling me that this is someone who wanted a certain outcome to happen. So planned and arranged and set up. It's not it's not just a crime of opportunity here we're talking about someone who had a wish, maybe even intentionally or unintentionally got a thrill out of doing this. I also get a sense that perhaps maybe the wish is indicating someone is at work here, fulfilling a wish for somebody else, acting at the behest of someone else or on behalf of someone else. I don't know why that keeps coming through. And like maybe she knew something. Mercedes was digging into a situation or knew something, knew details about a situation. But I feel like this card can represent somebody doing somebody else's dirt. I also feel like this is a good sign in that the truth will be uncovered, or someone, like maybe police are going to be uncovering the truth. The truth will come out. It'll be unearthed. It also could represent someone needing to bury something. Maybe they need to bury something. They tried to bury something, but didn't quite do that. Something along those lines. We talked a lot about pitchfork, but it's like, again, just this energy of rebellion, a violent uprising, conflict, raging even. And the comet card the comet is associated with things like catastrophe and turmoil and disaster, a war being waged, destruction. This toad, this frog wanted to destroy and demonstrate it. And, just, I don't know. It's like a bad omen, this card, the comet. And it was like other people probably around at her work. We got the factory card, around her workplace, or who works with her or works around her, knows maybe like they could see the signs or something, like something's not right here. Speaking of factory, the factory card, when it comes up for me in these types of readings, it can denote maybe some people or a person at her workplace knows more. Maybe they're a witness to something that they don't even know. Maybe an accessory or an accomplice after the fact works there. Or maybe she used to work with someone. Or someone, or maybe this is close proximity. And I also found this interesting next to the book card. It was like someone was studying her while she's at work. Now, you know, she's an exotic dancer part-time. She worked at this, you know, I guess a club twice a week. And she also was often probably training in the gym since she aspired to be a trainer, a fitness trainer. So was this someone, this toad, this frog person, someone that she encountered at work? Were they studying her like a book, researching, following her? It was said that she lived like 5 minutes away from the club that she worked at. So it wouldn't be very difficult to follow her. Okay. Then we have absent-minded. I want to go into these cards now. We have absent-minded, denial, deception. So you have that. Denial. These are the cards that jumped as I was shuffling. Deception. Emotional blackmail. Addictions. Held hostage. Okay. Absent-minded. Now, when you watch her surveillance video of her entering into the parking garage, you can tell that she's a little absent-minded. You know, she's not really looking around at her surroundings, making sure, you know, no one's coming up or running up on her. You know, but many of us do that. That's, you know, we're all probably more inclined to do that, right? Looking at our phone, getting ready to get to our car. But this also can represent someone that's involved in what happened to her being absent-minded. I don't feel like they're the smartest person here. And the reason I'm saying this is because I feel like their demonstration of putting what happened to her on blast for the world to see is going to cost them. It's going to cost them. There's like it's just a matter of time. I'm picking up that we're going to hear more news about some key evidence because this person was absent-minded. Maybe this card can also speak to someone feeling like she was too absent-minded. Denial. Someone will be denying, someone who will be interviewed by the police or has been interviewed is denying any involvement. I'm curious to know as we do the reading if the police know more. I sense that they do. Maybe they're denying, maybe this card represents that the police are denying that they know more, but they do know more. This could also sadly be about denying the idea that it could be someone she worked with or someone she knew. God, I hope not. Someone that she came into contact with, and that could be a really difficult pill to swallow for those who care about her. You know, that's terrible. So, as you can see with these cards, they can mean a myriad of different things, and they could be multi-level or multifaceted. Okay, so then we have deception. This could be about her bearing witness to some form of deception, or maybe she was a part of some sort of deception before her passing. Or it could be that someone is lying. You know, we've got the denial and deception cards sitting right beside each other. Maybe someone felt like she was being deceptive towards them, or maybe they were being deceptive towards her, and she was like, okay, I'm writing you off for now. I'm putting you on the back burner. I don't know. But that's interesting to me, deception. I do want to circle back to the comment card and the pitchfork. There was a part of me that was like, I feel like someone's waging a war. Could it be a war against women? Could it be a war, like gang war? I don't know. I don't know if it's any of that, but it just feels like someone's waging something. And her being found was kind of demonstrative of that. Emotional blackmail was interesting to me as well. This is about, I think, a myriad of things. Maybe someone was emotionally blackmailing her, or someone felt she was doing that to them prior to her passing. Or I sense it could be that there are people who may be in the know about the perps, like habits, or know even more about their involvement even. But this perp is holding something against them or holding something over their head. Or they feel bound, like there's like a loyalty here of some sort going on. Emotional blackmail. Then we have addictions. Someone or someone's around her or who did this to her has some form of addictions. It could be to substances. It could be to gambling. It could be to all sorts of things that you can think of. An addictive personality, or maybe they come from a family. The perp comes from a family of those who there's a lot of addiction in their family life or in their home life. It could represent even just a toxic situation where someone's addicted to a person, so it could be that. And then we have held hostage. And, she was abducted. So to me, this card wasn't a surprise. But this could be more symbolic of something else. Maybe she was holding hostage some vital information. Or maybe she felt hostage in a situation. Or someone else around her felt hostage. Or maybe there's even others. And the reason I'm saying that is because of this card that jumped from the Dark Mirror Oracle. This is the Sacrifice card. And when I was doing the reading, before I realized that there was no audio, what popped in my mind was like, I feel like her life was sacrificed for something. A wish, right? Like someone was like, she must go, her life must go. But what I worry about is that someone who could sacrifice her life, Mercedes' life, they could do that or have done that to someone else. Just saying, just putting it out there. I did just want to read a couple of sentences from the Dark Mirror Oracle guidebook and share that with you. Sacrifice, the stage is anger. It says here, even if I have to break apart, as long as it serves a purpose. I have accepted my duty, and in my release I found freedom. With sacrifice, we renounce our sense of self. We accept to be lost. We accept to be shaken and cut and bruised and hurt and burdened and locked and stricken and despised and gossiped and betrayed and be misunderstood and be left alone to rot, to die, with just words of thanks while the world goes on over our broken dreams. But when we drown our sense of self to sacrifice, we are also a greater person. We are screaming, I exist, I make the difference. We accepted a price to pay, and we used our blood and tears as currency that gives us the right to stand tall. I thought that was interesting language for this card and about what is said about sacrifice and currency and what that could mean. So now I'm going to pause here because we're going to move on to the Murder Mystery Oracle cards, this deck, and I'm going to shuffle them and also make sure that audio's on and working. Be right back. Okay, so now we're going to see what else Spirit wishes to reveal to us about the perp or the crime itself. Mercedes, Mariana, Vega. let me share with you what jumped here. We have, this crime may be solved by DNA testing or other scientific methods. Contamination of DNA evidence may be influencing this case or will influence this case. So it could be critical evidence that may have been contaminated or will be contaminated, which could cause problems down the line. Hopefully not, but it's like there's some sort of DNA evidence or other scientific methods that can help solve this case. The perp just passing through the area. The perp may currently be in prison for another crime. Also, this could mean that to me, when this card comes up in these types of readings, this person has a history, maybe a criminal record, or maybe one of the main people, or the main person has a criminal record. Maybe they're dealing with somebody who, like a accomplice or an accessory after the fact, who's just passing through town as well. Or maybe they will be passing through town, leaving Dodge or whatever that saying is, getting out of town. It says the victim didn't know the killer. I feel like, that's why I keep feeling like someone did this at the behest of someone else. I could be wrong, right? But like, she knows who may have been, she may have an idea of who this person may be, but then she doesn't. That's the frog thing. I don't know. It just, maybe it could be someone hiring or doing something for someone else. Or maybe it is a situation that someone was studying her and watching her and took this opportunity. We have the book card here, and took this opportunity to attack her. But then we've got this, like I talked about earlier, about the emotional blackmail card. Witnesses may fear coming forward with valuable information. So someone knows something. They know about the perp. They know about their habits. Maybe that's what the addiction card is speaking to. Maybe addicted to going to the strip club. Maybe addicted to wildlife. Who knows? Or maybe knows that this person frequents that place, or that they know her or know of her or in vicinity to her. You know what I mean? Or that, so there's a main person, but then I feel like they have help, So anyways, I'm going to pause here and push the cards off to the side so then we can pull some additional cards from different decks. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's tap into maybe some characteristics of this person. We have devious. That's what I was saying, like the frog, I get just ick kind of vibes. I don't know. Green eyes. But sometimes the green eyes could be the color of their eyes, or that they're jealous. Fair skin or albino. Poor hygiene or unkempt. Facial hair. Obese, overweight, and beauty mark or mole. Okay. Let's just go through these here quickly. We have devious. So maybe it's the way they look or the way they present themselves. They just have this vibe, this devious vibe. Or you're going to find out when, more information comes out that this person has a track record of being devious and deceptive and just, yeah. Something about their teeth or smile. Crooked teeth or crooked smile. Overbite, underbite, gaps. Teeth just kind of crooked, All right. Next up, green eyes. This could represent eye color, or it could represent when you say like the green-eyed monster, which is saying metaphorically that you're jealous. Someone's really jealous and watching her and being jealous of her, or being jealous of something that she has or that she gives away freely to someone else, but not to you. I don't know. But it could just also mean a jealous vibe, right? And not just the color of the eyes. And they have fair skin or albino. So someone who might be fair-skinned, I suppose. We'll see. Fair-skinned for maybe their race or ethnicity. Poor hygiene or unkempt. Now it could be that they're another sign for people to look out for as it relates to this perp. The main perp, or the person who I really feel is ultimately responsible for what happened to Mercedes. Watching someone's hygiene quickly deteriorate. Or this could represent that they've always kind of had a history of poor hygiene or just looking a little disheveled or unkempt. Again, part of that frog vibe, that frog card that we got earlier. Facial hair can just simply denote we're dealing with a man. I mean, typically it's someone who's presenting as man with facial hair, but you know what I mean. Facial hair could be a clue. And also it could be someone who doesn't have facial hair but now has facial hair, or had facial hair at the time but maybe shaved, something along those lines. Someone could be either slightly or heavily obese or overweight, or just slightly, you know. Someone involved. Sometimes these cards can also represent people who might be witnesses, not only the perp, but it could be people who may be in the know, who unwittingly or wittingly helped him before, during, or after this happened. We have beauty mole or beauty mark or mole. So some kind of distinguishing characteristic on this person is they may have a beauty mark or mole. Now I'm going to pull from this little deck I have here. No, just I want to, what are we dealing with here, Spirit? Make sure. Love, sickness. Someone wanting to really just tear her world down. Retaliatory. Yeah. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, the addiction, that goes with the addictions card. I don't know what to make of these. We have love sickness. So someone who could be just really love sick over her, or just love sick in general. If somebody has their walls up, she could be the one having her walls up. Never good enough. Maybe this person, this frog, never feels good enough. Never measures up in life. And so this was a way to kind of feel in control and to change that. Aloof. Maybe this is energy that she had towards the perp. Maybe she just didn't even really think much of this person. Didn't even think of him. Maybe wouldn't it, maybe just, that this person doesn't mean anything to her like that. I don't know. We have vanity. I get a sense that this could mean that maybe they thought she was vain. They thought Mercedes was vain. Or maybe they are vain themselves, the perp, or, people in the know. So we have vanity. Someone involved or someone close to the situation has bad habits. That would go with the addictions card that came up earlier. Poor communication skills. Sometimes we don't articulate ourselves very clearly. We don't say things, or we say things that are hurtful, or we say things that are not very clear or coherent. Maybe this person never felt like they could really convey what needs to be conveyed to her, or to the people around her or him, or what have you. It felt like too much interference with her, wanting to control. I don't know. wanting to control. And again, that just kind of ties into the comet, wanting to turn her world upside down because they could, because they had the power to do that. It's like layers here with this situation. Like she knew something, there's some form of deception. I don't know. And then there's this extra layer of, I want to do this to prove I can inflict this kind of devastation on someone else. I don't know. It's really upsetting. I'm going to pause here, take a picture of these cards, move them out of the way. We're going to continue forward. I'll be right back.